It's a really good sound effect, Ben.
I thought that was just nature. You have a hawk notification on your phone?
Yeah. I'd like to be different. Why does it have to be like the bing that everybody has, or the cuckoo, or the...
Did you download that specifically?
Yeah.
Can I hear it?
That was my notification setting. Or the sheep. Oh, that's my favorite one. That's text messages.
So when I text you,
Yeah,
it sounds like a sheep?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm going to text you more.
Hello and welcome to the Homestay Kitchen with me, Mary Chan and Erin Eastman. This is a podcast where we serve up stories of being a homestay family, the ups and downs of making a connection with international homestay students. We'll bring a plate full of stories, ideas, interviews, and hopefully dish up some anecdotes to share with our community. In this episode, we dive into birthdays. Jon and Blake, our husbands, their birthdays are 1 day apart. So we talk birthday plans and what Erin's students have up their sleeves for Blake, while I reveal my one big mistake in communication over birthdays with my first ever student.
Hello, Erin.
Hi, Mary.
We are relaxing in my empty student room.
It feels really like a secret hideaway. Do you do this often?
No, the only time I ever come in here when there isn't a student.
When there isn't a student, I would come in here a lot. It's
No.
a beautiful room.
It's nice, but I only come in here if I can't sleep at night.
I would come in here. Well, I have more children than you. Like I have 5 children at home. But if I had a room like this
You would be
that
in here
was
all
empty,
the time.
I would be in here all the time, like knitting or reading or hiding away with Netflix or like, Jon has furnished it. Well, you both furnished it, but I can see that, Jon's craftsmanship.
Oh yeah, he built that desk, that student desk there,
I love that desk.
which now we'll have to take a picture of and put on the show notes because people will want to see what that desk is.
Okay, I'm taking. You
Oh,
might
you're
see
gonna-
our feet in it right now. Should I put our
that'd be
feet?
funny.
Okay, now you have to forgive us. We didn't make the bed. Here we are. Okay,
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Yeah, he created the whole desk, like the little shelf and the top and the staining and stuff. Yeah, it's a nice little desk.
I like it a lot.
And yeah, we're just relaxing on a bed together. It's a little awkward, but okay.
Yeah, well, we've got some cords between us and some show note prep, and
I'm like sitting right at the edge of the bed.
I know I've left some room, and you're like way over
I
there.
need to be way
As
over here.
discussed, Mary has her bubble.
Yes.
And so
Okay. So
elbows are out. Yeah.
today we are talking about birthdays.
We are talking about birthdays because Jon and Blake, the husbands, have their birthdays coming up.
Yes, 1 day apart from each other.
So that's cute. But Jon's a bit older. He is,
Yes, he is.
in my memory.
Yes.
We won't divulge his age because when
No.
you get to a certain gentlemanly age,
Gentlemanly age. Oh, wow.
yeah,
I'm going to have to ask him what he thinks about that.
about becoming a gentleman.
Becoming a gentleman? Was he never a gentleman before?
Well, I think he's always been very gentlemanly, but I'm not going to call him a senior citizen because that's not
I
what he's
see.
approaching. So he's a gentlemanly age.
So what are you planning on doing with Blake, and how are your students going to be incorporated in his little birthday celebration?
Funny you should ask. Last night, I turned to Blake during, what you all know as our dramatic dinner table.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, dear, what are your hopes and dreams for your birthday? And he kind of looked at me like, hopes and dreams? Do I have them? And well, it's your birthday. And then the kids started a whisper train for what his birthday cake should be.
A whisper train? Oh, like they're just whispering next to each other on the table.
Like they 7-year-olds like, I know what his birthday cake should be, but we have to whisper about it because it needs to be a
Right.
surprise. And so
Gotcha.
then the drama ensued.
Gotcha.
And her idea and what she described basically is a Halloween cake. And that's not a birthday cake.
No.
She wants a chocolate cake with pumpkins and bats and things on it. And I'm like, well, that's just not approved because that's a Halloween
That's
cake.
what happens a lot when people have their birthdays close to a holiday or festivity of some sort. Like my birthdays sometimes lands on Easter because Easter moves
Right.
around. And I always got like the bunnies and the chicks and the peeps and eggs and things like that.
This is a birthday, not a Yes, exactly. He wants lasagna. He wants me to do the 70% approval rating as lasagna.
70% approval rate. Well, he's going to have to eat all the leftovers then.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Jenny, our Chinese student, has been requesting my lasagna lately, so I think
it'll be a winner then. It'll
be a winner.
85% approval
hopefully.
rate.
I guess so. We're going to throw in lots of garlic toast so the kids will eat it. Our Japanese student loves Caesar salad, so we're going to do that too. We're just going to try and get the approval ratings up for a dinner that I cook. And we're going to make more than one because you know me, and there will be lots of extras. But yeah, I was really shocked that he didn't ask for potatoes because
that's one of his favorite things in the world.
Are a rice family, and we always eat rice, and he never gets his potatoes. And I thought for sure he was going to ask for potatoes, but he didn't.
Maybe he's come around.
Or maybe I just don't do potatoes very well.
That's a good
I don't know.
too.
But yeah, no, so there will be food that he doesn't cook, or part of his hopes and dreams. And we still haven't nailed down his cake, but there will be some. The person in our family whose birthday it is gets to pick the dinner meal and the cake, which we then try to execute. And normally they pick the cake, and when it's not Blake's birthday, he bakes it. Like, I Pinterest it and he executes it.
So
and together we're a team. But
now you need to execute it?
yeah.
So will he Pinterest it? Well, he's not a Pinterester.
No. I've lost half of my team. And in our first student that we had short term, when this happens, she would come and see me failing on the decorating, and she would just be like, swoop in and make it look beautiful. But she's not here, so.
Can't wrangle one of your other students?
Oh, there will be some wrangling.
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
They're pretty amazing. Yeah, this will air after his birthday, so I feel like I can say.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Blake loves cookies. The girls have decided to make him a lot of cookies, and he gets this, like, a lot of cookies.
Like, what do you mean by a lot?
I think like tinfuls of cookies.
Oh my gosh. That's going to be a lot of baking? You're going to bake them all? Or are you going to just go out and buy them?
No, I've said no.
No, baking.
He's very practical.
Yes.
There is a cookie store downtown that I took him to on one of our dates. There they have like homemade cookies that you can choose your cookie, and in the middle they'll put homemade ice cream, and on the top another cookie, and it's an ice cream sandwich.
Yes.
And we had gone on a date, and while he ate his ice cream sandwich, they had a crib board, and so I was happy, and we played a crib game, and he I know Erin is obsessed with crib. And he ate his cookie ice cream sandwich, and he made this face. It was like the most joyful thing in the world face, but also kind of protecting his cookie in case like what you would do if you had your bubble. And
I see, yes.
I took a picture of it, and I showed it to our students when we came home, and they're like, oh my God, he looks so happy. Like, they love that he looks so happy. They want to recreate that moment for him by making him cookies.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And so, but I don't want them to go downtown and buy him really lots of expensive cookies. I said for Blake, he would prefer, rather than the quantity, he would prefer a lot of cookies. So if you're asking what he would like a lot of cookies rather than just one really amazing cookie.
I could understand that. I'd have that too.
So I said, if you wanted to take whatever money you were going to do for that one really amazing cookie in that fleeting moment, he would prefer tinfuls of cookies. So yeah, they're baking him lots of cookies for him to take to work, so he doesn't have to share.
Oh, they're so smart and thoughtful.
They are very thoughtful, and they've already made him cupcakes, and they've decorated it with like potato drawings and stuff like that.
Decorate it with potato drawings.
They are ingenious. They took chocolate, they melted chocolate, and then there was like decorating. I think they couldn't find, how you can pipe things on.
Yep.
So they just cut a hole in a Ziploc bag and
that's the way to do it.
Decorated. So that's in the works. They thought his birthday was a weekend earlier. They're very prepared now. I said, it's fine, just throw them in the freezer. They'll be good.
Yeah, that's true.
And now they're gonna bake cookies, and I think they might do it either at our home or across the street. This is the benefits of grandma across the street at my mom's house.
Then they can be secretive.
Very secretive. So yeah, there will be cookies to be baked. But yeah, he is very practical. So last year, our Thai student, when she
I love the story.
asked what to get him, because one year for Christmas, he asked me for a mop. And I said, no. You want a mop, you go get it yourself.
Yeah,
I'm not buying you a mop.
That is not a present.
That is not a present. I would be very mad if you bought me a mop. No.
So what did your Thai student get him?
Anyway, at the dinner table, a light bulb went out of our dining room light fixture that is hung above the dining room table. And I said to her, you could get him a light bulb. He actually would like it. It needs to be replaced.
And
like,
did she?
She's like, really? I was like, yeah, actually, he really would like that. It would save him a trip to the store. And he actually really would like it. She's like, really, Erin? Like, yeah, he actually really would. And so she did. And it was an excursion. She had to go to like 3 different stores.
She couldn't find the right light bulb.
And I felt really bad, but she did it. And she found the right one. I asked him last night, what did she get you besides the light bulb? He's like, oh. He was like, I think it was like 11:30 at night, and he had just happened to ask me like, oh, where are my car keys? And I'm like, they're on the counter. But what did she get you for besides the light bulb? Because I know there was something else, probably cookies or chocolate or something.
Something edible.
Something edible and sweet and lovely, because she is too.
But did he enjoy the light bulb?
Yes, and it's still working today. A year later.
Oh, Blake. I love it.
Those are some of the birthday plans. And yeah, our kids make homemade cards, and so do the students. And for this goes for every birthday. And I brought you some examples of the cards, but there are some of the most amazing heartfelt cards and beautiful artistry and penmanship.
There's a sheep on this one.
Yeah, that was for my 4-year-old's birthday.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, they're really heartfelt. Like our Japanese student for my 7-year-old's birthday organized a scavenger hunt.
Ooh.
For her. And she had given her a little stuffy that she really wanted. And then there was like a whole comic strip that she drew her. And then at the end of it, her birthday present was outside underneath the tree.
Wow.
So like there's lots of thought going into it. And then
you're really putting my family to shame.
And then, we do the happy birthday singing, and how we incorporate the students now is you sing happy birthday, but like 4 times, because we sing it in English and then we'll sing it in Chinese, and we relight the candles each time.
Oh, that's
and
a
then
lot
we'll
of work.
sing it. And in Japanese, I think it is the same as it is in English. Or we'll sing it in Thai, whatever the language of our student that's living with us. And we always have 2 different student languages. And sometimes we'll sing it in Korean because we have a K-pop
fan in your
our
house.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of time and energy, but I bet your kids love it.
Oh, yeah. Well, our table is dramatic. But yeah, we do that. Mm-hmm. So what do you do?
Like I said, you put me to shame. Maybe I should have started.
Maybe you should have started, Mary.
Well, because the thing is, we don't make a big deal out of birthdays.
Right. Like our students, this is the thing. Like our students, where they like at home, there is no big deal. So that's why they're so excited. Like they might get, a happy birthday or.
I see.
So there is no big deal made for them. And it's very exciting that we make a big deal.
I wonder if that's a cultural thing too, because
it's a cultural thing.
Growing up in, my parents immigrated to Canada from China and Hong Kong back in the 70s. So they have a very Chinese traditional way of doing things, and birthdays were never a thing. My mom may have baked us a cake when we were in elementary school, like when we were really young. But then she worked so much that she never had time as we got older. And then we didn't have a lot of money either, so we didn't get gifts, really. I just always grew up never making a big deal out of birthdays. And then when I met Jon, he didn't make a big deal out of birthdays too. So we just kind of lived our lives without doing much. We recognize. We're like, oh, happy birthday. We might.
Yeah. It's just like almost like another day that you just say, do something a little special for. You say happy birthday in the morning. You recognize like it is your birthday. And maybe there's like.
Well, what we've decided over the years was that the person's, whoever's birthday it is, they get to choose the dinner of that evening. And then the other person would make it. And if you happen to find something, then you could, there might be a little gift. Usually I try to knit Jon something.
Well, that's amazing because that takes a lot of time and effort and planning.
Yeah.
Knit. That's like handmade.
But I always give him the knitted item unfinished. So we can't even wear
I
it.
love you, but like it's not done yet. The thought is there.
There was one year where I was knitting him a pair of socks and I only had one sock done. So I gift wrapped the one sock for him.
Did he hop around it?
No, he didn't.
Oh,
he just cute. I just took it back, actually. He unwrapped it and then I took it back from him.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I have like Blake's birthday socks. I think they might be
my gosh, yes.
11 years old. Or he's still like, I think maybe it's knit like half up the toe. Remember you've been helping me knit Blake's birthday socks? Yep. Like he still doesn't have them. I had children and Blake's birthday socks still haven't happened.
One of these days.
Well,
so this year, been 4 years in the making of the sweater for him. I've had a lot of events happen in my life in the past 4 years, so I haven't had time to finish it. A daughter is one.
Yeah.
But this year I decided I'm going to try and finish the sweater.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the sweater.
Okay. How many days were we away? Today. We are recording like on a Friday.
We're 3 days away. What needs to be done on the sweater?
He's not going to get a finished sweater.
The trend continues.
Yeah.
Unfinished sweater.
Yeah. I have to seam the sleeves.
Okay.
Attach the sleeves onto the body.
Okay.
And then knit the neckline and the cuffs. So there's not a
2
lot.
nights?
No. It's not going to happen. I just know
How many stitches?
Yeah. It's thin yarn. It's thin.
Oh, what
thin
weight?
Yarn.
Fingering?
Fingering weight.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Maybe next weekend.
Yeah. So for all you knitters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah. You should have knit him a chunky sweater.
Yeah. No. We bought this yarn. I wanted to buy this yarn, like I said, 4 years ago. And we went on a trip to Austin, Texas. He had to go for work and I went with him. And I got him to pick out the yarn.
Oh,
then.
Okay.
So
you would know he liked it. If
exactly.
you're gonna knit a man a sweater, he better like it.
Yeah.
But also if it's fingering weight, that's love.
Yeah. And I've knit him one other sweater with that weight of yarn before. So yeah, I know how long it takes. And I'm just terrible at planning. Planning knitting projects, at least.
Okay.
I will gift him an unfinished sweater.
Beautiful. I love it.
He will choose something for dinner, which he has not chosen yet. But he did say he wanted, instead of cake this year, he wanted me to make my green onion pancakes.
Okay.
Which is a savory snack item, not like a breakfast pancake.
That's like the time Jenny, first year, she chose a waffle cake instead of
a cake.
A cake.
Maybe it's the Asianness in us.
I think so. She was afraid of like heavy, fatty creams and
okay. Not all cakes are like that.
I know. Well, it was interesting, but delicious.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And we don't have a student right now, and I don't think we're not planning on getting one probably until the new year.
Okay.
So it'll just be the three of us. The first time we ever had a student.
Yes. I was just going to say, tell me about your first student because I think there's a story there. What happened the first time you had a
deal?
You don't make a big deal, but sometimes communication is everything.
See, this is where I learn from my mistakes.
Okay.
So if you are a family who does not make a big deal about birthdays,
perhaps,
one should still communicate with the student that it is somebody's birthday in the house, because that particular student might want to do something nice for said birthday person.
And maybe they would feel embarrassed if they didn't know that person had a
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, our first student, I didn't tell her that it was John's birthday. It was just going to be another day. And we normally don't have dessert in the house.
You're like my house.
Yeah. But because it was his birthday, he had asked for I remember I made a maple blueberry upside down cake.
Oh, nice. And all from scratch.
Yes.
And you probably picked the blueberries
we
yourself?
pick the blueberries. We keep them in the freezer. We pick them in July. We go blueberry picking every year. So this is a good cake.
This would be an excellent cake.
And we're talking real Canadian maple syrup here.
I know. Oh my God.
And so, yeah, I said, to my student, don't forget, don't eat too much dinner. We actually have dessert tonight. And she was, confused. Why? And I said, it's actually John's birthday. And she's like, what? Like, why didn't I know? And then I realized, I guess I should have told her I was making a cake and the reason why. I don't know why I didn't say anything to her.
Because she would have made a card and
yeah,
now she feels awful.
And then I think the next day she went out and got him like a mini bouquet of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
So then I realized I was a terrible, terrible person and I should have told her. So from now on,
because she would have felt left out of
yes.
it. Yeah.
So from now on, even though we don't make a big deal, you know what the thing is? Even though we don't make a big deal, we still make something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to tell all my students, which I do now.
Good, because otherwise they don't feel included, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that family unit. If you all know it's John's birthday and they don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we had only had her for a month. So we only had a student for the first time. Like, we were going about our daily life, not thinking.
You gave me a hard time about the mom tax. Do you mom tax your students?
Yep. Back on our last episode,
I
the Halloween
know.
episode. So yeah, you're giving me a hard time about
But that was your first student. So now, yeah.
And we were only like a month in of being a homestay family. So
yes. Sometimes we make mistakes.
And I totally learned from it.
And
from now on, we tell all our students all the holidays and festivities and events.
Yeah. So maybe some of our listeners have also made mistakes. And
yep.
Yeah.
And I remind John to remind the student that it might be like my birthday.
Good.
Because I don't want to be telling the student that it's my birthday coming up.
Yes. Or, hey, by the way, in our family, or if it's Mother's Day coming up or Father's Day and you have a student, our children will be doing.
Yeah. And we tell them too that we don't make a big deal out of it. So we don't have to do gifts, but we'd like to have the family meal together. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes.
I do that for family members when my brother-in-law and his wife were expecting a baby. And I was just like, just so you know, she may not have had the baby yet, but Mother's Day is coming and she's pregnant and there are hormones. You still need to give her a card even though she hasn't had the baby. Just so you know. Just so you don't get in trouble. Get her a Mother's Day card, would you? You don't get hurt there. Yeah.
Also with my students, I never get to celebrate their birthdays, or I rarely do.
So what? Because it's short term.
I have short term students, so they're only here for a month or a couple months.
Okay, because I think we've celebrated every one of my students' birthdays, with the exception of one short term student.
Yeah.
So what do you do after they've left?
Most of the time, I would have had their home address through the application process.
Oh, good. Because
so then I just mail them a card and maybe a little gift if I find something. So the first year that they're away from my house, I'll try and mail them a card.
The first year they're away from mine, I find them on social media and I say, "Hey, happy birthday!" So you're much better than me.
Though I've sort of gravitated more towards the social media happy birthdays, just because I run out of time with running around with a 3-year-old and the brain doesn't work properly.
Planning international postage and cards. And
yeah, postage is expensive. Like if you're mailing a gift thing. I used to mail out like big boxes of stuff.
Wow.
Like Canadian snacks and stuff that they would miss.
Oh, that's amazing.
I had this one student who she loved granola bars. And so I mailed her a couple boxes of them. Oh, but it was really expensive.
That would be. Wow.
So that's what I do with my short-term students. Always a card if we can. And then if they are here for their birthday, which rarely happens, we do the same thing with them where we get them to pick out a meal and a cake.
Nice. I had one student who was always in charge of the balloons, like bringing the balloons home.
Balloons. Oh, decorations. Right. See, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. One of my first short-term student, whenever there was a birthday, because we had the two students together over that summer, the first student didn't have her birthday with us, but I think we had a lot of summer birthdays. It was my youngest daughter's birthday, the middle child's birthday, and then the second student's birthday. Anyway, the first student brought balloons every time, and I would bring the flowers, and then the first student would save all of my cake decorations, and she would like redo the cakes for me. Anyway, we had a
Not
team.
up to her standards.
No, her English, she wasn't confident speaking, but she
was good at doing things.
She was good at doing things,
show
and
you guys
being
how
there
much
and
she loves you.
and showing us how much she loved us, and just being there. And so yeah, we had a good birthday team, and you would see her like coming home through the, like, we lived in like this small little cul-de-sac, and you'd see her from the bus carrying these like helium balloons. She'd be coming. You could just see her.
That's awesome.
So cute. We would do that. And one thing that we love on birthdays is Just Dance video games.
Oh dear.
You get the whole family in front of the TV dancing. Adults and kids and babies alike. We just get out there and just dance.
Shake your bum.
Yeah.
Usually the students I get, they have their birthdays before they ever come here. So they get to celebrate with all their friends before they come here. So I never get to celebrate their birthdays.
Yeah, that was our Thai student. Celebrated at home and then came like the next day.
The last question for you.
Okay.
What is your birthday dinner of choice?
Who's cooking it? If it's my mom.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if it's Blake cooking it, it's steak. And I call them the fancy French fries.
Why are they fancy?
Because it kind of models our favorite restaurant downtown.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And so they're fancy because they are like kind of crispy. And then he does like this, what is it? Like a garlic, I'm trying to think of the word, really fancy dipping sauce. Like for
a
French
garlic mayo?
Yeah.
Oh, an aioli.
Thank you.
That's the fancy word for mayo. Aioli.
Aioli. And then like a Parmesan on top of the French fries.
Cheesy goodness.
With wine. And a creme brulee, which, by the way, for birthdays, if we're talking birthdays, Blake will do different creme brulees.
Like different flavors?
Flavors for family.
Ooh.
He will experiment. And so he's tried to do a chai creme brulee for me, which I'm just like a traditionalist. I like my vanilla creme brulee. But he'll do like a lemon creme brulee for my mom. He's done Dilmati. My parents are obsessed with Dilmati. He'll do a Dilmati infusion creme brulee. Or a Manuka honey, which is just way too strong. And he just goes back to like, but for different, like their birthdays and stuff like that, he'll try different creme brulees. He caters to their tastes.
Yes.
So he likes to make creme brulee. And when our Japanese student's lunch accidentally got taken by
another student.
No, it was all Blake's fault.
Blake took her lunch?
No, he instructed me to take her lunch. It was her birthday. I just remembered it was her birthday.
And Blake told you to eat her lunch?
No. Carter, my son, my 10-year-old son. It was my Japanese student's birthday. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I know. You're looking at me. Yeah, we ruined her birthday.
Oh. What was the lunch? What was she supposed to have?
A burrito. She lovingly made a burrito. So Blake makes lunches the night before, and he says to me, oh, there's 2 burritos in the fridge, and one is Carter's, and in the morning, put it in his lunch. I can't remember which one is his, but one of them is Carter's. Okay, sure, no problem. Go to bed. In the morning, there's 1 burrito left in the fridge, and so I cram it in Carter's lunch, and off we go. But our Japanese student has a spare on this day.
So
she's not yet up.
Yeah.
And she's sleeping in, and it's her birthday. We don't disturb her. I apparently it was her burrito.
Oh.
And she didn't text me or anything or tell me anything about this, because to me, this is news that someone has taken my lunch, and I will, of course, provide you a different lunch. I will come to your school. I will buy you sushi, whatever you want, and I will bring you your lunch on your birthday, no less.
Yeah.
I will take you for lunch, whatever you want.
But she didn't say anything.
Your lunch, she didn't say anything.
So did she even eat lunch?
Her friends gave her a piece of bread. It made me want to cry. I was so upset for her.
As someone who doesn't even really celebrate birthdays, I feel really sad.
So upsetting. And she's very kind and considerate and mature in her approach at home. But she's just, I just need to talk about the burrito and what happened. And I was like, oh, there's a burrito incident. I was like, I'm so sorry. Was that your burrito? Because Blake told me to put it in his lunch. There were 2 in the fridge, he said, and one was his. And I was to put it in his lunch.
The big student burrito incident of 2017.
And we've never had problems before. Blake told me to. I totally put him under the bus. But that was the truth. And she's like, well, I made the burrito and it was for my lunch. Okay, yes, I can see that. I'm very sorry. In the future, if this ever happens, this is phone home worthy. And I will, of course, replace it or whatever it takes. Now, we will talk to Blake about this when he gets home. We did. And he, of course, apologized and said, yes, my mistake. I thought I heard you say that you had made Carter a burrito. And I was like, when has she ever made Carter's lunch?
Yeah.
Never. So I said to her, name your price. What is it? Right now, a mistake has been made. Name your price. And she said, creme brulee.
Oh.
Creme brulee. And I said, that you will have creme brulee.
Yes, you will.
And Blake made her creme brulee. He made like 8 creme brulees. And that was her price. And I was like, done. So I'm sorry for the tangent, but that reminded me. And then it reminded me that it was on her birthday, no less.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Poor girl. But she got the creme brulee, so that was good.
Back to your question. Who's cooking it? That would be it if it was Blake. But if it was my mother, asparagus crisp. It is like lightly steamed asparagus, and it has a cream sauce with crunched up potato chips topped with cheese melted and baked. And probably her toss between salmon or chicken with curry mayo, if it's chicken.
Oh, now you can call it a curry aioli.
Oh, but in her house, it's curry mayo.
Okay, fine.
I know.
It's not as fancy.
It's not as fancy. And she does an amazing lemon pie. Or there's a story about the apple blackberry pie, but
save that one for another
day. I know. Yeah.
We'll have more food related topics, I'm sure.
They love teasing me about it. But what about you?
I have a hard time deciding.
Yeah.
I usually go with what I feel like in the moment.
Oh, that's hard to plan.
Well, I give him a day or so advance notice. Well, what we do in our house is we meal plan every Sunday.
I know.
We plan for the week. So,
but what if your birthday?
But that's what I would feel like in that moment when we're planning.
Okay, that's okay. I will allow that, Mary.
It really depends. It's weather dependent. I find like if it's cold, because my birthday is in April, and it's either going to be really rainy and gray here in Victoria, or it will be a nice, mild, sunny, warm day.
Okay.
So, if it's a gray, rainy day, I want something cozy, soupy, like traditional Chinese noodle soup.
Yes.
Or if it's going to be a nice sunny day, then I don't want hot steaming noodle soup, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it really does depend, but I usually go for some sort of a Chinese comfort food, which Jon is still learning how to make every now and then. So I make sure I'm around to help him out, even though it's my birthday.
Well, that's kind.
But he's really good at making cakes and stuff, so he'll make a cake of some sort.
And what has he picked for his birthday dinner?
He hasn't picked yet.
What?
I asked him last week so I can get a head start, but all he said was the green onion pancakes, which is a snack and not a dinner item.
I feel that you need at least a day or two's notice.
I'm going to ask him again tomorrow, and that'll give me enough time.
No, what if you want to make something that requires a lot of home scratch made?
Oh, it still happens.
You have a 3-year-old to work around.
That's why I'm asking him tomorrow. He gets one day. If he doesn't pick for that one day, if he picks something really labor intensive on the Sunday, he just doesn't get it.
Or what? Shocker. What if you eat out?
We don't eat out.
Neither do we. I know. Yeah, because then you have to like tame children in a restaurant and
Well, there's that now, but even before, we always just like what we made.
what we make is better.
Yeah.
You're like, you want to charge me that for something that
Yes.
we can make and it's better?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, we usually go for sushi lunch for my birthday.
There you go.
I ask for a sushi lunch, but it's the dinner. We always make the dinner at home. So I don't know what I'm making this weekend.
This is starting to stress me out.
You know what we could do is because this episode will air after his birthday.
We'll need an update.
I'll give you an update and we'll put it in the show notes. And I'll see if I can remember to take a picture of whatever it is that I make.
Because also, like, just understand that these birthdays are happening what may potentially be around my Halloween miracle. Like, you know, this lasagna making may be happening around what I have to put together for whatever Star Wars costume.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
We've come downstairs. We were in my empty student room. And then I realized that we never explained why we were hanging out in my empty student's room.
On their bed
On the bed.
together.
It's because normally we're in my living room,
On the comfy couch. Yeah.
but we're recording while there is a lot of construction happening next door, and there was hammering
And
like,
sawing.
and so I decided let's go to the other side of the house.
Yeah. There's construction and hammering and sawing.
So
And
I thought it'd be nice and quiet in the student room.
it was
so-
nice and quiet. It was cozy and comfy and
and romantic.
and Mary said it was romantic, but really she just scooched to the other end of the bed and put her elbows out. So whatever. But
Okay, if you want to get romantic again, we can always hang out in my empty student room to record podcasts.
sure.
As long as I don't have a student.
As long as you don't have a student. Or, you know, we could hang out in front of the laundry machines or your daughter's bedroom had a fun dollhouse that
It's true. We could have hung out in the doll.
near the dollhouse and talked. But we thought, given this is a podcast about hosting students, we should hang out in the student room.
It was just more quiet. That's all I cared about.
Okay, Mary, we'll go with that.
Thanks for listening to the Homestay Kitchen, hosted by Mary Chan and Erin Eastman. Produced by me, Mary Chan of Organized Sound Productions. Web and show notes by Erin Eastman. Like what you're hearing? Write us a review wherever you listen. Or drop us an email at homestaykitchen@gmail.com. We would really appreciate it. For more information on this episode, visit homestaykitchen.com. And when you're ready to dish up your stories, connect with us on Instagram @homestaykitchen or on Facebook. Thanks for joining us.